Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay Rose. I am a mindset and manifestation coach. And in today's video, I want to share with you how manifestation literally saved my life. I know that sounds dramatic, but let me first start at the beginning. So back in 2017, I had a massive spiritual awakening when I was going through a really tough time in my life. I was working in a job that I absolutely hated. It was sucking the life out of me. I was commuting 3 hours a day back and forth to my job and from my job. I was in a relationship with someone that was really toxic. I was really questioning my purpose and my value and why I was even here. And I was really struggling to find any joy in my life at that time. And I just remember I was driving home from work one day and I was like, this would be so much easier if I just wasn't here. And I started to have these really dark thoughts about not wanting to exist, not wanting to be here. And I just remember in that moment, it was like a subtle prayer that I just sent up. I was like, God, universe, I don't even know what is there, but whatever is there, like send me a sign, like help me get through this darkness. Like I want a way out, show me a way out of this. And it wasn't maybe a week later, I ended up running into this woman who started sharing with me some books that she was reading and recommended that I check them out. And so I started reading up on Abraham Hicks, the book Ask and It Is Given. I read The Secret. I watched the movie and I started realizing that everything kind of made sense as I was reading these books and hearing what I was hearing. It resonated at a really deep level. And I was like, I don't know why, but this just feels right. And so I started actually practicing manifestation intentionally. I was writing down my intentions. I was saying affirmations every day. I was visualizing. I was starting to speak things into existence. And I remember on my drive into work, I would play the Abraham Hicks like Rampages of Appreciation. And I just started saying to myself, I have a job closer to home. I have a job closer to home. And I started like saying these things, speaking these things into existence. And honestly, it was maybe a couple weeks later, after I started really saying this thing out loud, like I want a job closer to home, that I ended up getting a job offer at a company that was literally 10 minutes from my house. And it was a job that I actually was enjoying a lot more. So I was like, okay, there's something to this. And I started seeing evidence of it in my life. Well, I started really putting it into practice and I was writing down what I wanted and I was, writing down the type of relationship that I wanted and where I wanted to live and the amount of money that I wanted to make and the home that I wanted to live in. And all of it within a couple of years, it was like boom, boom, boom. Everything started to fall into place and I manifested some incredible things that I never thought was possible for me. I never thought, coming from a broken family, not really having any value or self-worth, like really having a lot of trauma that I'd experienced as a child, not believing in myself, all the things. I manifested things that I never believed were possible for me. And it's continued to happen in my life where I manifest these things that most people would look at and be like, how the heck did you do that? Like that was literally impossible. And that is why I've devoted so much of my life to teaching this and practicing it and sharing it with the world, because I really believe that understanding how the law of attraction works, understanding how your belief systems work, taking responsibility for your life, taking back your power, setting into motion the things that you want to experience will dramatically and drastically change and alter the course of your life. And if you're someone that is watching this today that is sitting and suffering in anxiety and depression and fear and feeling worthless and feeling like things aren't working out for you, I highly recommend to you that you start exploring personal development, you start exploring mindset and manifestation, and you start taking control of your life and setting these things into motion so that you no longer have to suffer. Life is not meant to be a suffering experience. Life is meant to be joyful and beautiful and amazing. And we're meant to experience joy and have the things that we truly desire. But we have to take responsibility for what we're experiencing. And I think one of the biggest parts of this process that's hard for a lot of us is stopping the blame game. Like, I spent a lot of my life blaming my parents and blaming my family members for where I was in my life and why I was experiencing the things that I was experiencing. I had a lot of jealousy towards other people for seemingly having a very easy life and having things just work out for them. And I felt like I was a victim of my own life, and that was not serving me. It wasn't helping me in any way. So I really had to take a look at myself and who I was being and what I was believing and the programming that I had. And when I actually took over the wheel of my life and was like, okay, no more blame, no more victimization. I'm actually going to take a look at why my life is the way that it is. I'm going to forgive the people I need to forgive. And I'm going to start to actually look at things from a different perspective. And I'm going to be really diligent and really consistent about what I'm believing and what I'm saying, what I'm speaking into my life, and start changing that and start visualizing a better outcome for my life and getting clear about what I actually want. That is when things did a complete 180 in my life. Doors started opening, opportunities came into my life. I was attracting different people. I started attracting new friendships that were actually fulfilling. I started feeling good about myself again. My confidence came back. I stepped into a career that I was actually passionate about. I made the most amount of money I'd ever made in my entire life. I manifested my dream ocean view apartment, my dream home, my dream car. Everything started to fall into line once I actually started to become a conscious creator and take back my power and decide that I was the director of my life and I was the one that was actually creating this reality that I was living in. It's a really beautiful, empowering experience, but it can also be a little jarring when you recognize that everything you're experiencing is directly related to your perceptions and your energy and what you're putting out into the world. And that's not to say that our experiences are not valid and what we've gone through and the struggles and the things that we've experienced in our life aren't valid. They absolutely are. However, it's a matter of how you choose to view them. It's a matter of what you choose to do with those experiences and whether or not you're going to continue to play the victim of your life or whether you're going to look at those circumstances and say, how can this serve me, right? Everything in your life, whether it's positive or negative, is happening to serve you. It's happening to elevate you, to strengthen you, to create some sort of skill within you that you need to go to the next level of your life. And I like to look at life as like sort of like a simulation or a video game. To level up, we've got to sometimes go through challenges so that we can really hone in on the skill sets that we need to be that next version of ourselves, to step into that next timeline of our life. So if you can embrace life, whatever is coming at you with open arms and say, this is happening for me. This is happening so that I can become a better version of myself. This is happening so that I can strengthen some sort of skill within me. You will see life open up in miraculous ways. You will see magic unfold in your life in ways that you never thought was possible. So I wanted to share this video with you guys because I want you to know that it doesn't matter what you've gone through, what you've been through, or how dark your life might seem right now, or how hopeless you might seem in your life right now because of the experiences that you're having. There is always a way out when you're willing to do the work on yourself and you're willing to look at things differently and you're willing to actually be really consistent and regimented with a manifestation practice that's going to allow you to, number one, look at your belief systems and look at the attitudes that you have about yourself and about the world and start to shift those, start to really allow yourself to see new perspectives, see things from a different light. And then give it time, right? There is a buffer of time within this third dimensional reality that we live in when it comes to manifestation. Thank goodness, because you don't want every thought you think or everything that you say to manifest and materialize. That would be a very chaotic world that we live in. So there has to be a time here, a time buffer where you speak things into existence, but you have to have that level of consistency with it where you're holding the frequency long enough so that thing can come into your life and actually materialize and manifest. What happens for most people is they'll say it and they'll speak it and they don't see it, and then they say, this isn't working, this isn't happening, everything is staying the same. But what you have to do is you have to really take away the focus of your current reality and you have to go inward and you have to be more connected to the inner vision and that desire that you have for your life, and hold that long enough so that everything can kind of clear out and shift energetically, and this new reality can usher itself in. And this is a lot of what I teach. It's a lot of what I coach people on, is how to really understand what your belief systems are, what paradigms you're living in, what programs that you've adopted, and how to shift out of those, and really how to make your inner worlds more important than your outer world. And that's when you start to see the changes. So if you need any support or help on your manifestation journey, you can go ahead and book a one-on-one manifestation coaching session with me. And this is where we're going to dive deep into your own personal belief systems. We're going to figure out specifically what's blocking you. And most importantly, we're going to figure out what you truly desire in your life. And I think there's a big difference between desires that come from ego-driven perspectives where we're trying to fill voids versus really deep soul-driven desires that come from our authentic selves. And when we are aligned with that type of desire, reality, I mean, it unfolds so magically because you're aligned with the universe, you're aligned with love, you're aligned with truth, and you experience a lot less resistance in your life. And the desires you attract actually make you happy instead of those ego-driven desires that really don't end up making you happy for very long. So if you're interested, the link is down below to book a session with me. If you have any questions about manifestation at all, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm at the.quantum.blonde. I'm over on TikTok at Quantum Blonde, and you can find all of that down below in the show notes. I would love to support you on your journey. Don't give up hope. Anything is possible. You just got to believe in yourself. Until next time. Bye, guys.